Hey guys, it's Nicole and I'm up with this week's Sketch It Out Thursday video. I am using a freebie Friday sketch from Scrapbook Generation. I will provide a link below in the description box for where you can download this specific sketch. You may want to go ahead and check out some of their downloads. They do have a lot of free sketches in there. There's sketches from their magazine that they used to produce called Create, as well as other freebie Fridays that they have posted before. They even have some printables that have like titles and phrases and quotes and stuff that you can also use on your layouts. So the papers and stuff that I'm using today are actually scraps from another kit from Scrapbook Generation. On my own channel, which there's always a link below in the description, I used one of the kits for my monthly video. I'm doing a collaboration with another YouTuber where each month throughout the year we are showing how we celebrate different holidays and seasons each month. Sometimes it's very traditional, sometimes it's very different. For November, I went very traditional and decided to scrapbook a Thanksgiving layout, and I decided to go ahead and use a kit that I had in my stash from Scrapbook Generation. And the particular kit that I used tends to have a lot of extra stuff. So I just kept it out on my desk, and I knew that I had a second set of photos from that same Thanksgiving. It was just different family members that had come over that I wanted to go ahead and use. That way I've got two layouts back to back in my album that coordinate, they match, it's the same papers, just different family members, different time of the day as far as what we were doing. And it just happened to be that I Googled Scrapbook Generation Freebie Friday because I remembered, for whatever reason, the name of it had stuck in my mind that I could find free sketches from them using Freebie Friday. And one of the first ones that popped up just happened to be one that would work with the photos that I had and the scraps that I had left over. And I got very lucky that I had just enough scraps, not only for the layout, but I think you'll see here in the next clip, my kids decided to come into my room and slice and dice up the strips that I had cut for the right hand page. So I was not thrilled to come up and find that, but I was okay because I had enough of the two patterns. They were basically both sides of the largest scrap that I had. So I was able to go ahead and cut more strips, but I was not happy, and they were doing chores, so they were not happy. But I do try when I do their kits and I've got leftover papers, I will either set them aside in a bin of scraps that I have that I can pull from when I want to, or like this particular kit had quite a bit of leftover pieces, and I think it was just based on the sketch that I decided to follow. The kit that I subscribe to, they send you enough papers and then they send you two sketches, and you can choose which one you want to make. You don't have enough papers to make both unless you double up on your papers, but most of the time you do have enough scraps left over that you can get at least a single, maybe a double out of it from your scraps, especially like here where my photos are actually on the background of the paper and I'm not sort of relying on the pattern papers to be able to layer behind my photos. So that's kind of nice. And then I saw Hannah posted, I want to say a week ago, a link to Cheeky Studio, which I guess is a shop that Tuesday Hubbard has started where it's die cuts and flare and like ephemera type stuff. And I had gone and looked, and for whatever reason, she had a die cut pack that just kind of stood out to me. And it was these like watercolor looking leaves, and then there was some raccoons. I wasn't real sure what I was going to do with the raccoons, but the leaves, I was like, oh, those are so pretty. So I went ahead and ordered them, and I wasn't even thinking about it, but I had set them on my desk, and as I was putting this layout together, I kept looking over at them, and it dawned on me that the sort of florals and leaves and stuff were all oranges and yellows, and I thought, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and use these because I don't really have any embellishments to go with this. I only have the papers. And even when I did the other layout, I pulled from my stash to use some stickers and stuff. So I'm gonna use those same stickers with this layout as well. So like I said, I'm going to have 2 layouts back to back in my album using the same papers, the same sticker sheet, and so they will coordinate. When I did the first layout, I did not have the die cuts yet from Cheeky Studio, but I can always probably go back and maybe add 1 or 2 here if I feel like I need to, if I want them to match that well. But to me, both layouts feel completely different, and it's sort of different sides of the family anyway, so that works for me. So at this point, I've got all my papers down. I went ahead and matted the 2 tiny photos. I believe they were 2 by 2 or 2.5 by 2.5. They will use smaller photos like that a lot of times in their sketches, and it's kind of a nice way to be able to add some extra photos, and maybe even some that are not that clear, or maybe you took on your cell phone, or they're not the greatest photos, but you still want to include them. If you're not enlarging them that much, you can't really tell a difference in quality. I went ahead and printed out my journaling on one of the little 3 by 3 pieces of paper, and I used a Simple Story 6 by 6 pad for like the wood grain and the notebook paper, just to kind of fill in some of the gaps again from those scraps that I was using. And then here are those die cuts that I was talking about, and so I'm just going through and pulling out ones that I think I like. I knew for sure I wasn't going to use like the raccoons. Those are going to probably take me a little bit to think of something to use. Probably something with my kids. I have some photos of my daughter playing in the leaves in the backyard that I may go ahead and set aside the raccoons for, and maybe try to find some paper that'll match. And then the sketch had some banners and stuff over here on the left. Sometimes I will stick with their sketch. Sometimes by the time I have the main elements down, I'll kind of go on my own. It just depends. This particular layout, I kind of kept going back to the sketch anytime I felt like I didn't know where to put something. Sometimes I can look at something and know, okay, I for sure want this here, or I want this here. If something's not immediately coming to mind, I will go back to the sketch, because they've already sort of predetermined what looks good or what is balanced on those sketches. So I'll try to remember to go back and look. So I just took 4 or 5 of those die cuts and kind of put them together into like a little cluster, and I have foam squares behind it. And I think I put foam squares behind most of the die cuts just to have them stand out a little bit and not have every single thing on the page be flat. And then here, I was not paying attention. The stickers that I had been using on both layouts are from a Simple Stories collection. And in the Simple Stories collection, it's very fall themed, but they included red and blue and green, which was not included in the Cartabella collection that the papers are from. So I wasn't even apparently paying attention to the color of the letters. I was going based on size, and then I realized, okay, great, I've now introduced a new color into this layout. What am I going to do? So my solution was to just sort of comb through that sticker sheet and find a couple other pieces of that blue and have them into other areas of the layout, just so that it doesn't sort of look so random of where I've put this title together. And so I ended up just there was a blue heart on, I think, the icon stickers, and then there was a little phrase on the one that comes with like all the alphabets and phrases and stuff. And then I like to just use a roller date stamp to stamp my date, and then for whatever reason I'm on this kick of doing the clear Nuvo drops, because I love that they actually dry clear. So you get like, they look like wood grain on the wood grain paper, they look blue on the heart. I'm obsessed with them, and I can't stop using them for whatever reason. So that is my completed layout. Couple pictures of the layout and the different areas around the page, and I thank you for taking the time to watch today, and I hope that everyone has a very happy Thanksgiving. Hope you guys are all safe and having a good time, and I will catch you next month for another video.